co-development agreement, which is really an arrangement whereby we say here two corporations, but it can be two organizations. It doesn't always have to be a corporate entity. Agree to work together to develop a product. They can be complicated. They don't have to be. It can be simply an agreement, a piece of paper spelling out who is going to do what, but it also could be actually an LLC. It could be a separate entity where you actually do contribute not only technology, you contribute people, you contribute money, and you actually create a new entity. A lot of the pharmaceutical companies do that quite a bit to actually get into new lines of business and do their research initially there. So they need to be monitored carefully. They need to have real champions, and they need to basically be, you need to be clear. What I recommend in these types of deals is to put in your arrangements something that's becoming more common, which is something called alliance contracting. And that really upfront spells out how you will deal with things when they don't go well, and how you will really, upfront, you will put together a panel of individuals from both companies, and often will also have a neutral person as an odd member of a 3 or 5 board entity, and you will bring disputes. You will bring disputes based upon contractual disputes. You'll bring disputes if you say, well, I thought you were going to do this. Well, no, I thought you were going to do that. You'll bring this up, and you'll deal with it in the course of the contract. It'll be part of what you've agreed to in the contract, so that it won't be a contractual nightmare. You'll basically sit down and say, all right, we messed up and we were not clear in the contract. Let's go back and rework the statement of work and spell that out better, and then you keep going. And I think that those are working really well. And I think mediation is a good thing to potentially put in a contract, or arbitration, so that again you're really, if you want this thing to work, you want to find ways to avoid having it slow down and be distracted by having people have to throw up their hands. So I think putting things like that are really important in contracts. When you look at these agreements, you also want to look at the workload division. And again, you want to look at the issue resolution I've just talked to, which is really key, and I think alliance contracting is really a great way to handle these things, and it's working well in the deals that I'm doing. Content review. Again, who is going to be, is there someone external to this group that's actually going to be involved? And I think these agreements often get short shrift. I work with a few large companies who do these deals, and they often say, oh, they really don't work that well. Well, I don't think they work well because I don't think that the people are given the opportunity to communicate within the organization about what it is that they're doing and how exciting it is. And I think that it needs to be promoted through the marketing department. It needs to be promoted internally to your stakeholders. And that you talk about deliverable milestones, and when they are achieved, you celebrate them and you communicate them all the way up and down the organization so that everyone understands why you're spending your time managing these processes. And I think that that's certainly that's a key that we can see, and when we look at these relationships, is managing the relationships, dealing with,